Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to episode number 46 in our Oxygen Not Included series. I have decided that I am going to launch this rocket as is to do some testing with it. So let's slow this speed down here so we can do this at a regular pace while I figure out everything to make sure we're set. So this is the Explorer rocket. I have it set to go to here. Let me go so I can look at the destination setting. We have it set to go right here, which is just 6 tiles away, 6 tiles back, so that should be fine. This is the rocket that has a large gas storage, so we have plenty of gas. We have plenty of fuel. The issue we were having is that we don't have an external battery, and so we need to do some testing to see how that works with that. But right now, all of our checklist is done. Go into here. We're going to turn this off from grounded so that he can use the buildings inside here, and then we're ready to launch. So let's go out here and we're going to begin launch sequence. Speed it up a little bit while it's launching. So our plan right now is to have this rocket go, and then we're just going to monitor what goes on inside of it, because we want to make sure that we don't have any issues during this short flight before we get back. So the plan is to have him fly out here to explore these spots, come down here, hit these two, and then come back real short, hot. If we get out here and he's doing fine, I may get a few more while we're at it, but I just want to check. So if we go to the interior of our rocket, just like I thought. So the power system, I was very worried that we weren't going to be able to charge our battery and run our systems in space. I set up some automation just in case this power cuts out so that it shuts down the gas pump and the party line phone, which are not priority, so we have at least a little bit of power. But while this rocket's in flight, if we look at it, let me see if I can figure out how to see the power system. If I go in here, oh, I'm sorry, if I go inside here, and I look at the power grid here, we have 60 watts from each of the solar panels, and then we have 600 watts coming from the hydrogen engine. So while this ship is in motion, which it is pretty much the entire time, it has plenty of power, because even running everything, we only need 380 power for our consumers, and our hydrogen engine is providing that. So honestly, we could go without the solar panels too. I may change that up, give us a little more space for other things. We'll think about that one. But that means this rocket is fine. It has plenty of oxygen so it can explore for a long time. So knowing that, I have a total of 32 cycles, 31 remaining. So if I take him out to, let's do here instead, we'll change destination. I'm going to come down here and we're going to try to get this entire section here done with that rocket. Now, as far as other rockets go that we have, we brought our mining rocket back. I'm not going to send this one out right now because I don't have any need for any materials from it. Eventually, I do want to set it up so that we have it running, but I want to work on getting other rockets going. This was our other Explorer rocket. I think I might change this one up, because even though originally I was going to have 2 of them because I wanted to get the whole thing explored faster, I think that it'll be fine sending this one rocket. It'll take a lot more cycles, but I have a lot more to do. I was kind of in the mindset of let's get the thing explored because I'm trying to wrap this series up, but I think I have more I want to do in this series for now. So we have the time. We'll let this mining rocket explore everything over time while we do everything else. The rocket we do want to work on is getting this one back home so that we can resupply it with some things to come back here and get things on Watano proceeding. I did crack open the bottom of our map a little bit more, and I'm still working on doing that so that we can let the water get down here. And we're still pumping it too, but I want to get the water below the level of all of this stuff here. For this system in here, I now shut this off. I got the water that was in there back out. I shut this off so that it's only pumping if the pressure goes over 150, which means that it should continue to fill up the polluted water in here until these tiles all get full. The polluted water should go up, and then it should force the gases to the side, which hopefully will push them into the airflow tile. And if they're in there, they can work their way up to get up to here. But right now the pressure is keeping them from doing that. But once this is full and there's no more gas inside, and I seal this, it should mean that if this stays where it is, we'll never have a problem where gas gets back in here causing me issues. But we can deal with that as we go. For now, I just want to get it filled back up. Our water is still pumping into our storage, and I want to get, before we leave Watano, I'm hoping to get the oxygen system running fully. So I have a few more things I'm working on with that, and we'll try to get those done before we send the rocket back, but I do want to get this rocket moving back in this episode. Having an issue here with this setup. The Wheezewort here is not planted, and I was trying to figure out why, because I had planted it, and then I looked, and my conveyor rail is missing a thing, and there is the igneous rock from it down here, because it's made... Conveyor rail is made of steel. I'm not sure what the igneous rock is, but there's steel sitting there as well. So I think that either the rail overheated or something and caused it to break. So what I'm doing is I'm redirecting the rail this way so that we can have the steel going up to our interplanetary launcher here, because I still want steel to be getting transmitted to our new colony on Watano for now. And I'll have to figure out what that is. I might need to come up with a better system to provide radiation for this. It could be because it's out in the vacuum of space, and so there's no heat being transferred. I'll have to watch and see what the problem is. I definitely am getting a lot of heat in the Radbolt generator. Oh wow, it's at 430 degrees. Melting point is 1800, so I got a while, but that's a problem. What I might do is move that down to a system like over here somewhere, and then use reflectors to send it out. But I don't know if the Radbolt reflectors will gain heat either. We can mess around with it, but we may have to move that down here so that the system can last for a long time. Or we could move this system, but I kind of like where this system is. So I might build down here where I have background tiles already in place, build a new system for radiation. I guess I could put background tiles here. I'll have to give it some thought. We could put a vacuum lock in here and put some drywall behind this system so I can leave it where it is. Not sure how that would work with this setup. I'll have to give it some thought. But anyway, for now, we're redirecting this so that the steel can get headed back to Watano. Just checking in on McKinley. He's doing just fine in our Explorer ship. It's got everything it needs. It's only gone a few tiles, but we're going to keep an eye on that and watch to see how well he's doing, and then once he gets here, we'll send him off to explore some more. We have a bigger problem back on our main colony that I've just noticed. Both our water boiler and our petroleum boiler have pulled so much heat out of the geothermal system that it all turned to rock, and now I'm not getting heat going into these systems very effectively. This one still has enough heat coming up because it's pulling it out of the rocks. This one did not. And so this system is kind of stopped. There's no water coming out of it, which is, I have water up here. Let's check and see. But our water tank is depleting. I was so busy on Watano, I wasn't paying attention to the water here. So I'm thinking about a couple of things here. One is our short-term fix, and one will be a long-term fix. For now, I'm going to dig some rocks out so I can allow some of this magma to come over to meet the window tile. I'm not quite sure how well that's going to work. It's going to be a little difficult to get down in here and get it all done, but we'll do it and see how it goes. As far as a more long-term solution, I'm going to need to start being able to refill up magma here, which means I'm going to have to figure out how. The only source of magma I have is this volcano, which is still dormant. I haven't done anything with it. I can move things around here so that I can have a system to get magma here, but I'm going to have to figure out the best way to get it from here down into here so that we can have a tank down here for the magma to continue to supply magma to our storage blades here, or our heat blades here. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. I mean, I'm sure there are ways to pump magma. I don't know what they are. I'd have to look into it. But because of the distance here, I guess the other thing I could do is if I moved everything away, I could probably make something where the magma from here just drops down through the map and lands down into here. It makes some kind of chamber. It could be kind of cool, but it also means I'd have a lot of things to get out of the way, a lot of things to move. This chamber here would be much better if it was over on this other side of the room. We definitely have to deal with the fact that our supply teleporter input and output are on that side of it. So I guess theoretically I could still leave all that there. I can make it so there's a drop here. I think there's enough space where we could have the magma just flow right down in a chamber right through here. I might try to do that because that might be kind of cool to have like a lava drop that drops in and continues to supply us with hot magma. But for now, I'm going to get this dug up and try to get some magma flowing over so we still have some heat. This still has 1800 degrees in it. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do as far as long-term heat. A lot of different things to think about. I want to do some testing. If I just get magma over here, is it going to be enough to turn some of this rock back into magma? Because the melting point for igneous rock is 1400 degrees. So if I dig all this out and I let magma flow, some of this might turn back into magma. Because this is only at 1200 degrees. This is at 900 degrees. But if I bring this heat over, maybe I can get some of this to convert back temporarily. Buy us some more time while we figure it out. Okay, I've gotten everything dug out here so that we're over to the magma. I'm going to dig this block with high priority so somebody can come down here and dig it for me so that this magma can flow over. What I'm looking to see here is what happens to all this rock here. Will the heat from this transfer into this rock to turn it back into magma or not? And the other thing is polluted and salt water that got over into this side. I think if I get the heat back through from here, that should be fine. We'll deal with that in a second. But we'll need to bring this window tile down so that we can get to it. So I need to come up with... I think I should deconstruct this tile. And I need to build some more ladders, but I need them to be made out of obsidian. So that... Okay, well, don't just stand in the lava, you crazy person. Oh, he's trying to build that ladder. Or deconstruct that tile, that's what it is. Alright, go. Go before you get melted. Okay, so now we're gonna let this magma is gonna flow over a little bit. What we're looking to see is this rock has a melting point of 1409. The magma here coming over is over that. Is this rock going to get hot enough that it converts back? Looks like it's not going to pick up quite enough heat. Looks like some of it did. We have some gold there too. I want to put this... I want to get these ladders in here that are made of obsidian so that they can come down and dig from above. And I want to dig these out to try to let some more come over. I guess what I really should do, if I'm going to do this, is get it over to the middle so that and then that way we can get into the sides and start kind of pushing the magma towards the middle. I'm not quite sure how how effective I'm gonna be at doing that. The other option we have is to get another heat source in here to keep this stuff warm, but that seems counterproductive since this was supposed to be the heat source for it. I mean, honestly, when I built this, I knew that the magma was only a short-term system for providing heat, and now we're hitting that point. Now I need to come up with a new system. I guess maybe that's what I should really focus on, is coming up with a long-term solution to provide enough heat to boil this stuff. So here, I need to keep the temperature in this tile above the 150 degree mark, which is not super difficult. I can bring that kind of heat up, even if it's not a lot. This side, however, I need to keep the temperature above 403 degrees, or at 403 degrees, to start boiling petroleum. And right now this system is shut off pretty much because this is full. I mean, I am pumping it out, but I'm not pumping much out. So just a little bit of oil is going back in every once in a while. So the little bit of heat I have is still plenty to handle this system because we're not using it much. This system's getting used constantly, so I need to get it back and running to keep providing water. Not to mention that I have all of my water sources backing up because I don't have a buffer tank for them. I may have to build some kind of system for that too. A lot of things to do. Let's get high priority going on these. We'll get somebody down in here to dig some of this out just to get some magma flow over back to where we need it to be. I can also dig this way. Let's just go to there. And I also need to put in another obsidian ladder here so that they can get back out. Why are you not going to let me build that? There's something in the way? I don't know. We'll get that sorted out. We'll get all this going so that we can get some magma back to our water boiler. I think at the moment I'm just overcomplicating these things. I do need to come up with a long-term solution for this, but after giving it some thought, I was realizing that this side of the system is still working because the heat's still transferring into the diamond window tile from the rock, and there's still a lot of heat left in the rock. And the reason that this side stopped working wasn't because there wasn't enough heat. It's that this had stopped here. There was a gap because the magma had solidified and turned into rock like this. If I had just lowered the window tile down one block, it would have worked, because now this heat from here is quickly going up the window tile again, going back into our system, and the temperature going across this airlock is 130 degrees. This is heating up, so the oil in here is heating up again, and the heat is all transferring all the way up where I need it to. So the system is kicking itself back online. I'm hoping that enough heat will go through to fix the issues in here. I may need to go in and mop some of that out. I still have the ability to get in there though, so I might just try to do that quick. But what we're looking to see is this heat transferring up enough in here? Now this is up to 100 degrees. These are set to close that door once we reach 150, so it'll continue to heat up. That heat's going to keep transferring up to here. Once this polluted water is going to take longer. It's going to have to get to, I need to be on the polluted water. 120 degrees. The regular water up above it, 99.4, so 101.4 is where it will transfer into steam. So we're watching the heat keep going into there. We're gonna watch that turn into steam, and it'll start heating the whole system back up again. Let me just check to make sure. So our inlet for... Oops, I hit the wrong button. inlet for gas or for water here is here, and so this is shut off because there's too much pressure here. Yeah, so that will start letting more water back in once this turns to steam. And we're up to 101 now. We're almost at the steam point. What did I say the steam point for this is? 99.4, so 101.4, it should start steaming. There it goes. Now we have steam turning up into here. If we can get into here, the reason the water's not flowing is because this different water built up over the top and it's blocking here. So if I can get them in here to mop this out, then the regular water will start flowing back down again and the whole system will be back to working. So I'm going to let this magma flow in over here like I was planning anyway. Which might cause some damage to our duplicates. Hopefully nothing too bad. They're pretty resilient. But this system will start working again. Okay, there we go. So we got the water out of there. Now the regular water's flowing back down again, which means this is filling back up. This will soon have above 500 kilograms and we'll start pumping water out again. And we still need to come up with a long-term solution for our heat, but this will keep us going for a while. We'll just have to keep extending this tile down. And eventually that means we'll have to extend it over to get to the magma on both of these sides. And then we can start working on doing a system up here for getting more magma out of this volcano. We should probably start doing that soon since we're noticing that this is running out, because it's going to take a while for this volcano to build it up. But we could probably build a system up here to collect it and then figure out how we want to get it down here, or alternatively move these systems to work with this volcano once the sources are all run out, because there's no reason it has to be down here at the bottom of the map once there's no longer heat down here. It might be better, instead of moving the magma across the map, bring these up, because then they'll be closer to where we need the stuff anyway. So those are long-term things, but for now, it's good to see that this is working again. Everything's going fine. Let's check the polluted water. It has reached 108. It needs to get to 121 before it liquidizes or vaporizes, but that'll be fine. It'll keep going. We got plenty of heat coming in now. 160 degrees, 150. So this is at 114, so it's still a long way to go before it shuts off. So we'll check in on it again and make sure that these doors do end up opening and everything is still working in a little while. But for now, we're just going to continue pulling the heat out of these rocks. Let's go check on our Explorer rocket. Looks like that worked out perfectly. We're just about 60 seconds away to him getting to our first destination. He has 8.1 tons of oxygen left. He's used 3 to get there. So in 8 cycles, he used 3. That means he has another 24 cycles of oxygen left, which means he could use his entire range and still not run out of oxygen, which is exactly what we wanted to see. And so now, as soon as the autosave is over, he's going to finish going to this tile. We're going to direct him to go to this one and then back up to get these last few tiles on his way back to our main colony, and then we'll just keep on working with him to get it to explore the entire star map, and we'll keep working on other improvements here. For Watano, we have a blueprint to print. Sure, some purple polyester sounds great. We're still continuing to work on getting this water down, and we're getting the system over here finished. It looks like we got more steel coming in, which is what was holding us up. So let's empty these steel canisters. I do want to get solar panels built the whole way across. This system over here, we're finishing up the last few pipes, which means when this rocket comes back, it can land over here, and we can build the solar panels the whole way across and remove these. But we're going to need more steel to do it. And so rather than waiting for steel to slowly make its way across, as soon as Garfield is finished with these last few pipes, I'm going to put him back in the rocket, and I'm going to send it back home to our main colony to resupply. So let's set his destination there. Checklist here is the only thing we need is for our pilot to board. Like I said, I want to get this pipe here finished before he leaves, so that when the rocket comes back, it can automatically start refueling. And by refueling, I mean refilling up with water and oxygen from the systems here on Watano. Eventually, we will have it set up so that it can get rocket fuel and oxidizer here as well, but we have a ways to go before we can do that, because we have to come up with a reliable system for transporting goods, which is probably going to be via rocket ship, which means we need to design a new rocket. But for now, we're just going to continue on with these few projects we have, keep making progress, and we'll come back in the next one and work on some more. I hope you enjoyed watching this one, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.